Hey, this is Stacia, and I am back to playing training games. So I probably am not going to share every training game that I do on my channel, but I will tell you that I um I am decided that it is very important to play one training game a day. And if I miss a day, play two the next day. Um, I really am convinced that the way to get better at playing chess is to play more chess. Because I do analyze and yeah, whatever. Let's look at this game. All right. So my opponent was higher rated than me, which I was pretty excited about. He's over 1700 and I recently fell below 1700, which if you know me and you don't, um, but maybe you do, then you would know that I hate that. I hate being under 1700. But whatever. I'll get back over e4, e5, and I just stuck with my normal repertoire of knight f3, knight c6, d4, and this is a Scotch game. And so I do like to take the pawn here. And my opponent played c3, which is the Goring Gambit and did kind of catch me by surprise. Sometimes I forget that when someone plays a Scotch, they can actually go for this Goring Gambit. Now I haven't looked at the Goring Gambit at all, so for now, I'm just playing d5, and I'm actually happy with the lines I get, so I may not change that unless my coaches tell me to, which they might. So d5, and he took it, and my thought was I will take with the queen. No harm, no foul. Let's go through the opening a little bit quick. Knight takes d4. Now this move looked a little funny to me. Because, I mean, I can't take here because my queen's hanging, so that's not good. So I actually thought maybe he should play something else. Then again, maybe the moves aren't all that appealing for him. I mean, why not just bishop e2? What could be wrong with that? Let's see what the engine says really quickly. The engine likes c takes d4. Yeah, this is another move that I thought he would play. Because this does free up the c3 square for the knight. But white is going to accept an isolated pawn. But so what? It's probably totally fine to do so. Although the computer thinks after bishop b4 check that black is already equalized. Well, maybe white has a slight edge. But I think the position is sort of dynamic because of the IQP position and the open bishops. So yeah, I think this is a game and there's good chances for both sides. All right, so let's go back. So after takes, queen takes, knight takes was seen, and I mean, here's the thing about this, his pawn was his main center control, and when I took it, he replaced it with a knight instead of a pawn. So now white's center control is a little suspect. The knight can't come to c3 easily, so I didn't think this was an ideal move. I played knight to f6, protecting my queen, and he decided to take here. I think I should take with my queen. Now, I did notice that this is possible, but it's not possible yet because that's unprotected. So, but I definitely was looking at keeping an eye on this. So I thought I thought if he played this move, he's definitely trying to get me, and I was going to play here. And if he tried this, I felt like this didn't work because here, and then if he takes, it looks like I'm double attacked, but my queen's free to go check the king. So that's probably what I would do. I was thinking here, I think. Let's just get right up there and check. And if he goes here, I can probably just take the rook straight away if I want to. In fact, that's probably best. And yeah, that's just winning. So that was what I calculated. So now let's check it with the computer. Computer says after h4, go Yeah, it likes a6. It also likes bishop d7, which is also a good move because after this, I'll go check, right? Like, wow, computer doesn't even want to check. It just says, you know, just take that. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, and yeah, that is fair. I mean, I think that's totally fine. Probably rook f1 has to happen now, or maybe queen e2 check. And then here, and then maybe... I was thinking rook f1, but computer wants queen f1. Wow. Okay. Let's get back to it. So, after this, though, he checked me with the king, which is certainly possible. Turn up the sounds a little bit. I did see that he could do this, and I thought, I didn't like bishop e7 so much. I mean, there's two possible ideas, I thought. One is that he might be trying to get me to play bishop e7 so that when I castle, my bishop will be hanging. So I feel like that's a little bit of a concession, I guess. But the other idea is this, which doesn't scare me at all, right? Like, I would take and play c6, and that's actually what happened. So I played bishop bishop e6 instead of bishop e7 because, I don't know, that makes sense to me. See what the computer says. Computer likes bishop e7. See, I don't know anything about chess. And then it says he needs to move his queen, I guess. Well, yeah, he does because, okay. See, moves like bishop e7, if I want to play more like an engine, I need to pay more attention to the negatives of my opponent's moves. And queen e2, it just blocks up the bishop, which blocks up the rook. So, like, even if I do play this move, you know, that was just a waste of a tempo, basically, for him. Okay, but anyway, I did this, which I think is fine. Computer agrees. And he did play this and takes. And c6, attacking the bishop. Okay, engine back off. Now, I do believe he went to a4, which was curious to me, but I think his idea was bishop b3. And if I ever take that, which I might, then it will open up his rook onto my a pawn. And if I try to castle queenside, he might even take it. So, well, he would take it. So that's going on there. So I just played here. Bishop d6. And I kind of want to get to the ending in this video because I think the ending, well, I don't do a lot of videos on endings. So I'll just turn the engine on and we'll just kind of make sure I didn't miss anything crazy. I played, you know, this move, which I guess is not good. Maybe h3 is a good move for him. But actually, I was trying to avoid the pin without playing h6. Computer says, don't worry about the pin. Like, I was going to go here. And I thought there might be this move. Yeah, computer says, who cares about your pawn structure? Yeah, it's just amazing to me. But I'm aware that this is often true. Like, you could take on the worst pawns ever, but as long as you have the two bishops, computer likes black. That's pretty much true. Also, we're up in development here. Okay. But I did this, and okay, his knight came out, it castled. Yeah, and here he got pretty active. So he took my bishop. Bishop e7, always retreat. So now he attacked my a pawn. So I thought, well, this is very interesting. Computer wants to play bishop d5. That's interesting. Because he does kind of have to do something about his knight. So I guess if the knight goes here, then we go knight d3, it says. And we say take our pawn. And then we take their pawn. You know, I saw this continuation, not with bishop d5 thrown in though. And I was like, why do this? But I guess this is pretty good. All right, well, I played king b8, which isn't the happiest of moves. So maybe I understand why the computer likes the other way better. All right, so he pinned me. Now, unfortunately, that caught me by surprise. That should not catch me by surprise. Like, I kind of forgot that when I move my king here, suddenly he can pin me. So I'm not very happy about that. But I can just protect my knight and say, hey, take it if you want. I'll have the two bishops. It should be fine. So let's see if that's true. It is. It's equal. Okay, I'm learning chess a little bit. Yay. Okay. Bishop b3 was played. Okay, I want him to help me double my rooks. So that kind of happened. We traded. And now king c8 because I want to get out of the pin now. He took. And I did not want to take on an isolated pawn and if I don't have to, so. And, well, now it's getting a little bit interesting. I have a dark square bishop and he has a knight, and we both have a pair of rooks. Now, for the moment, my rook is active and his is not. In terms of pawn structure, it's mostly symmetrical, but I have slightly more space because my pawn's on f6. But I also have a dark square bishop, and these pawns are on dark squares. So I will need to move them to light squares. So I thought this position is probably equal, and I'm happy to say that the computer thinks so as well. All right, so he protected his knight. And I was like, well, I want to move my pawns to light squares. Let's get started. So I thought, you know, he'll go, we'll trade. I can play g6. Okay, and here we have the ending. So I'm happy to say that I was conscious enough about my time that I had 5 minutes left here and he had 7 minutes. Hopefully you guys can see the timestamps. Shout out to Dean. It reminded me I should do this when I can. All right, so what do we do? How do we proceed here? Now, you know, a lot of people would look at this ending and be like, this is a draw. You know what? This is chances for everybody. All three results are possible. That's what this is. And if you don't believe me, watch what happens. All right, so I have a couple things I want to do as black. I want to keep an eye on this knight. Don't let him get into my position and start taking things. And don't let him fork my king and my bishop, or my king and some random pawn. So that's number one. Number two is I want to get my king to the center. He needs to come up, and probably white needs to do the same. And number three is that I want to put my pawns on light squares, and I want to put my bishop here to stop him from moving these pawns. So, like, you know, now if he plays c4, I take this pawn, and if he moves this pawn, I take that pawn. So you kind of get the idea. There is another idea that I think just doesn't work here, and that's this one. A lot of times when you see like pawns to attack, you can go behind them. But the problem is once I get here, I think he could just move. I go here, he moves here. Now if I need to reroute my bishop, maybe that's still useful, but otherwise no. All right, so we brought our kings up into the position. Okay, and then he played knight to e2. Okay, I'm going to turn the engine off and let's get going here. So I played my move bishop f6. I think that's fine. And here he went g4, which I was a little sad I didn't see ahead of time. So I think I just, sometimes I have to get back to basics to remember when something moves, even if it's the king, pay attention to what it's doing. He's eyeing these squares. I should pay attention to that because it's the king that makes g4 possible. Now, it's really not a big deal. I'm probably just going to take it. See what the computer says about it. g4 is a move. I should take it. And he takes. And I played king e5, which is the top computer choice. Okay, engine off. So I like how my king is boxing out everything and the knight can't check me or anything, so that's great. So I was pretty happy with this. Not happy to block my bishop, but that's okay. Okay, he played here. And now I thought, maybe h5 is the way forward. h5 will give me an outside pass pawn, hopefully. He doesn't have to take. But if he does take, I will get this, and this seems like maybe I'm fighting for a win now. Like maybe I even have an edge. A decent edge. Ask the computer. Yeah, computer says over half a pawn advantage, which is what I would think. Okay. So I don't think he did take. No, he did not. He played this. You know what? I overlooked this move too, which is kind of why I want to look at this ending. I think I just have holes in my experience at this point. Don't play enough of these endings. Okay. I have to be a little bit careful here. I think his idea was possibly he wants to take and then bring his knight in and attack that pawn. And if I step back here, that will be check. So I saw that. So I think I need to be careful where I go. But on the other hand, if I go there and he takes, wow, that is true, isn't it? If he takes and I take back, no, he can't go there. And I thought if here I maybe just move my bishop back and then try to get my king to f5. Okay, okay, so I went back. Let's see if that's correct. It's actually not. The computer wants king d5. Huh. I was worried about some things here, like stuff like this. Probably we're just going to come back, though. Right? Yeah. This is horrible for white. So, after king d5, they should take. But then computer just wants knight g3, and then probably I'll go h4. And they'll just go here, attacking the bishop. And we can just step back. This is still a game. Okay. So this is what I did. This is still fine, though. Yeah, and when he took there, I was pretty happy. I was more worried about the continuations with g5. Like, I can go here, and I thought he would bring his king up. And then when he does that, well, I guess it's hard to complain because I do have this pass pawn, and I can't imagine that I don't get some kind of advantage from that. And the computer does agree. So once we go h4, he's going to have to go worry about that. And then maybe I can go win some stuff or push my pawns or Yeah, like a4 is the move. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Oh, a4 for white? Wow. All right. And if I go... Well, I don't have easy ways to protect that, so that's kind of unnerving. The only way I had to protect it is to push it. So I'm kind of curious about this line. Let's just look at this for a second. It says knight c1. Wow. So if I push, he'll go here, and if I push again, he'll go there. And now it wants bishop f8. I think that's the idea, because if we apply pressure there, then the king can never leave it. But the king doesn't want to leave anyway, because he doesn't want to let me get in there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like black's pushing here. Okay, let's continue. His king went up, which I saw. I pushed my pawn. It's protected. f5 check. King over. Okay, and what I figured out here is that the king can't get in because my bishop's too good. But I am a little worried about this infiltration. This could happen. But he's got to be worried about this. So I felt like all was well here. I also, you never know, I might push my pawns and then like try to go win stuff. I don't know. But he did jump his knight in. Yeah, I don't know about that move, but yeah, he blockaded and attacked the bishop, but I would not say that the knight is good on h3. Okay, now I was getting low on time, so I actually went and did this because I could get a few moves in and get the 15-second increment. That's really why I did it. So here, 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 and back. All right, so now I have 30 seconds, and I was able to understand the position a little better. And he played b4. Okay, I wasn't sure about that move because it does put a pawn on a dark square, which could be trouble for him. So that was my main plan, is to try to keep that pawn on a dark square now. And I think the way that I do that play a6 maybe? What did I do? I played that, which doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that doesn't fit the plan at all. Oh, I know why I did it, because I didn't want to see this check come in. So like, if I go a6 and they check, my king's getting blocked out. That can't be good. Let's see, the engine says it's totally equal now. Yeah. So that was right. Okay, engine back off. So I played b6. Wow, engine says play b5. That's better. Or bishop c3. Now bishop c3. You know, bishop c3 is interesting because look, I think if check. Now I probably go here, right? Yep. And then if they go here, we do this. And now when they do this, we do this. Now it works, right? Because he can't push. If he pushes, you know, he's going to lose things. So wow, that same thing came up and it actually worked here. I didn't see that. I just didn't want to allow the pawn to come to c5. So I played this, and it says he should go king f4, but he played this. All right, well, I think he's coming to h5. I was a little nervous about that. And I played a5. That was a little bit of a panicky move. I had like not much time left at all. And well, my idea was to play this because I'm going to let him check me, but now I think this is very, very clear that, you know, if he checks me, I'm going to come over here and attack his pawns, and his pawns are very vulnerable. They should not be on dark squares like this. So he did check, and I went here. I have to be careful where I step, right? Like, if I go here, I probably just lose. Well, that's not true. The bishop is guarding for now, but... Oh, computer still likes black, so never mind. Well, if it was unprotected, I would lose. But it was protected. Okay, king d7. Knight there. All right, let's get rolling. The king stepped up. Okay. And so my idea here was to go bishop c3, I believe. I think I pushed first. King g2, let's get that king far away. And then go king e7, because I want to go here. And after he takes, which he did, go bishop c3. Now, I was a little scared here, though, because the knight is guarding here. And his king's going to be in time. So it was this position. And then I realized something. I realized he's in zigzag, right? Because I can just stay on this pawn. That ties down his knight. And take away this square at the same time. So that's what I did. And now I'm going to win a pawn. So that's cool. So I got my pawn back. And this. Okay, so let's just pause here for a second. What do you think about this position? It's white to move. Do you think that this is a draw? Do you think white's winning, or do you think black is winning? So if you want to pause your video and figure that out, go ahead and do so now. Okay, I actually don't know either, but I think there's some interesting moves. Well, maybe just one interesting move. I think pretty much white has to play knight e5. That's what I was thinking, because if I take, he takes my bishop. Now that might be good. We have to look at that. But if I proceed with my plan of taking the bishop, he'll actually take my pawn with check. And then when I come here, I think he'll take. And yeah, once I take back, I think, you know, I can't get that pawn. It's just gone. And his king's stopping me, and I'm in my own way, and etc. So if this move works, then that's not good. But I actually figured out that it doesn't work. I did figure this out ahead of time. I thought I could take with the king. When he takes my bishop, look at the king positions. I'm much better. And I think I can go like king e4 and probably edge him out. So I was a little worried about this diagonal opposition, but I don't think it works. Because both king e3 and king d4 look interesting and probably are winning. So let's have a look. I'll turn on the engine now. Wow. So black is winning the position. Computer wants to play knight f4. Knight f4 I didn't consider. Let's see. What's going on there? So threatening a check, but I think I would absolutely take the pawn. Computer says check. Well, I really don't care about that. I would go here. And then knight d8, I guess, is what the computer wants. I would take here. This looks insanely winning. So, yeah, just as king b3. I mean, we don't have any worries here. This is winning, so computer gave up. I think this is the best try from a human perspective, but it at least gives me a chance to go wrong with this, right? Now, it says this is a draw, so I was wrong about this. I thought here, and, oh, I can take the pawn. I don't know why I had a blind spot for that. I would take the pawn here, here, but this is a draw. White has opposition, so we'll never win that. But I'm happy that I found the right move. Here, takes, king e4. And black's just absolutely winning this position. It's pretty easy, actually. I went here and he came back, but I was just trying to get time again. And then when he went there, I was like, okay, I can definitely go king d3. I thought if he went here, I would try king d4. Because, well, if he goes here, I have king d3. If he goes here, I go here. And if he protects the pawn, finally, he's in zigzwang and I'm going to win. And something very similar happened in the actual game. Went like this, here, here. He went there, but just king d3. Yeah, and yeah, he's gotten other moves, so. And I think it was, oh, it was actually in this position that my opponent resigned. So, yay, that was a pretty good win. Let's go ahead and take a look at the game review. If you want to improve at chess, I highly advise that you, and I'm only highly advising it because grandmasters say this all the time. If you want to improve at chess, you should look over your game without the engine or just check after you come to a conclusion, kind of like what I do. And then only after all that, just turn on the evaluation and enjoy that part of it. So it's saying that I played with 89.3% accuracy and my opponent had 82.1. I had 2 missed wins. I bet they're in the ending. 8 inaccuracies, no mistakes, no blunders. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now, I want to do key moves. I thought there was a button for that, so. Where is it? Huh. Oh, I think it's because I had self-analysis on. Okay, so I turned that off. Sorry about that. Of course, you guys can leave at this part if you want. It's not showing me the option. That's so annoying. Oh, okay. Next key move. Here we go, finally. Okay, it says this is the last book move. Yeah, it didn't like this move, so it said I missed an opportunity to connect rooks. Okay, it must want me to castle. I was going to castle this way. Let's see what it says. It says it is best. Okay, next. It says this is inaccurate. Let's try to find a better move. I mean, I really thought that move was right because I didn't really want the knight coming to g5. But maybe we don't care. Maybe that's the point. If knight g5, maybe we can play bishop d5. So that could be. So in that case, I don't want to give up the bishop. That can't be best. It just can't be, could it? Or do I have some kind of counterattack? I'll say this. That's best. Okay, it likes that move because I guess it likes the ending. I was happy to see most of these moves were fine. I think right here, okay, I'm wondering about this move. I'm wondering about this move. And I'm wondering about this move. All of them look very interesting. Okay, I don't think it is. I don't think it's bishop b2 because if bishop b2, I thought he could go here. Oh wait, I'm sorry, take first. And I was thinking, you know, that pawn's fast. Or he could take another pawn, so why do that? That looks horrible. So I don't really have time to take that, and then he can move it even, so. I actually think the right move might be a4. Because we can just go win that pawn. Yeah, it is. So that's called fixing the pawn. It's fixed. Yeah, white should just not put his pawns on dark squares. Because look, if he does that, I should just immediately fix the pawns. And then my bishop will win the game. So, okay. Another missed win in this position. Says that's a blunder. So, It's very curious. It might be this right now. It is. Yeah, because this ties down the knight. I think that's the point of this move. The bishop also keeps the king out. And so I've got two sources of counterplay now. Because I'm attacking this and I'm pushing this. And this doesn't look too hard to stop. I can stop that no problem, right? So, yeah, this is just winning. All right. King e4 is a great move. Yeah, because I saw what happened. I'm really happy that I saw something correctly because I played at Parma this last week and I don't know if I'll show the games because it was a very depressing night and I don't want to relive it. But maybe I'll show at least one. I should do that. But yeah, I had a really bad night at Parma. I just couldn't seem to do anything right. And well, I guess, you know, you're going to have nights like that. And well, I'll try again next week. That's all. King e4 is a great move. Yeah, whatever. It's just flanking. Okay, we win. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty enjoyable endgame to look at. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll be back with more chess. Okay, bye.